Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, welcome to the Microteaching course. Today is the fourth session and the topic is about methodological history of language teaching, covering approach, method, and techniques. So actually, today's topic is the same like previous topic, but here I'm going to explore more in kinds of methods. As one of level teaching methodology in ELT. Alright, there are some points that we are going to learn here. So English language teaching, approach, method, technique. So this is the review of methods in ELT. I'm going to cover these kind of methods and also designer methods. Consists of several techniques here in silent way, such as Steppedia, TPR, CLT, and TBL. Okay, as you have learned in previous lesson, when you learn about approach, when you learn about the hierarchical elements of ELT, we have approach, methods, and techniques, right? So here approach, what is approach? Approach is a general philosophies of teaching. Method is more practical, okay? And then technique is the specific steps or actions. And here is the illustration or the figures that you might see also from from the slide that I've already given you in the previous lesson. This one approach, okay, methods in the middle circle, and then techniques here. And okay, when we are talking about the review of methods in ELT, we have GTM, direct method, duolingual method, humanistic approach, and elective approach. So we are going to, So I'm going to give you some information about grammar translation method. So here, grammar translation method is a way of teaching in 19th century. So this is quite famous in 19th centuries. It is used to teach French, German, and English at the time. It's a very conventional method because the teacher only present a grammatical rule. The teacher only provide list of new words, translation exercise, and grammar exercises. So that's the learning of language at the time. And the vocabulary is also isolated. I mean, the teachers only provide some certain vocabulary is learned. So the students do not really concern on the other vocabularies, but only the certain list from the teachers that the students learn actually in the class. And the next method is the direct method. Direct method emphasizes on oral interaction, spontaneous use of language. Okay, no translation because they use target language. Little if the analysis grammatical rules and structure. So actually they also learn the structure, the form of grammar. But then pronunciation and grammar were emphasized here. Okay, and then they learn about only vocabulary, everyday vocabulary. The teacher also provide pictures and object, okay, to learn vocabulary. The communication skills were organized around question-answer exchange between teachers and students. Speech and listening comprehension also, okay, were taught in this method. Okay, next, the audiolingual method is quite famous in 1950s. It's influenced by structuralism and behaviorism. So they learn about basic sentence pattern. They practice patterns by systematic attention. They learn how to pronounce, and there was intensive oral drilling at that time. Well, in audiolingual method, students listen a lot in the classroom, so they can produce a good pronunciation. The teachers and the students are using very little of mother tongue, because the teachers is not permitted, because because students are only allowed to speak English at the time. Okay, the role of the teacher is to develop good language habits. So the method is improved a little bit here in audiolingual method. Well, we also have designer method, but it consists of several techniques. Yeah, the silent way, TPR, Suggestopedia, CLT, and TBL. Okay, what is silent way? The silent way, well, teachers refers student to a color-coded wall chart. Okay, so student use the wall chart to point out and build words with correct pronunciation. Okay, teacher silent. Well, actually, teacher is generally silent. There is no long communication in the class. There is no frequent communication in the class, but the teachers actually only help the student when it's needed, when it's necessary. Okay, teachers use also gesture. Okay, using fingers as word, then touching the finger words that is need of correction. Okay, silent, and then Suggestopedia. Suggestopedia here found in 1970s by Georgi Lazanov. Okay, so it's a human brain could process. Okay, he suggests that human brain could process great quantities of materials if simply given the right condition for learning, among which are state relaxation and giving over the control of the teacher. So music is central to this method. Actually, it indicates that this method could help students in language classroom, that learning is encouraged through the presence in the learning environment of posters and decoration featuring the target language and various grammatical information. Well, and also learning facilitated in the environment that is as comfortable as possible, featuring soft cushion seating and dim lighting. So the environment of learning is emphasized in this method. And Suggestopedia, after Suggestopedia, we have TPR, the theory of language grammar, best view, language verb in imperative form, theory, language learning, stimulus response view. So here, a method developed by Dr. James. The aim of this method is based on listening link of two physical activities which are designed to reinforce comprehension. Okay, the method relies on the assumption when learning a second or additional language, that language is internalized through a process code breaking similar to the first language. Well, actually, the appropriate activities here can produce stress-free learning. Learners are encouraged to speak when they feel ready to speak. Well, TPR is quite famous in young learners class, probably, yeah. Let's say if we instruct them to do something, or if we want the students to act something, so we can say like, okay, touch something blue, and then the students will listen to the teachers clearly, directly. They do what the teachers ask or instruct. Okay, TPR. Let's go on to the next one. Is communicative language teaching. Well, this is the influency is an important dimension of communication. Communication involves the integration of different language skill. So here, learning is a process of creative construction and involves trial and error. In the communicative language teaching, the students to teachers and teachers to the student or students to the student, they try to communicate as much as they can. I mean, here the students are asked to speak up quite much, and then sometimes the teachers gives what we call it give a guided conversation. So the student will do a dialogue or conversation between the peers in the group, and then the student will discuss about it in a group work, and they talk about it in using target language. And then the next is a task-based language learning. Here the role of teacher changed from the instructor and prosecutor of errors to the supporter and inventor of the task. So the teacher try to find out very interesting materials, so the student will enjoy doing the lessons. And there is a pre-task phase, doing of the task, and post-task phase. So that is a task cycle actually. Well, the students here, they need to do the experiments while they are doing the task. Okay, they work together with a group, or they also can work individually. But then at the end, they have to use the language in the appropriate context. I mean, let's say the student practice when they want to buy a ticket, movie tickets, or they want to order in a restaurant. So they can create, they will have their own experience as a waitress, as a waiter, or as the guest in the restaurant. They keep practicing about it in task-based language learning. Then eclectic approaches in teaching English is we call it as the teacher decide what methodology or approach to use depending on the aim of the lesson, and the learners in the group. Almost all modern course books have a mixture of approaches and methodologies. So here there is no single method is actually perfect. So in the eclectic approach teaching English, so it combines methods and eclecticism involves the use of variety language learning activity, which have many different characteristics and may be motivated by different underlying assumption. Well, in eclectic approach here, the students actually try to learn from different methods, and then the teacher try to select which one is a good one, a good method to teach the students language skills, certain language skills. Okay, so here there is a quote from Ignacio Estrada: "A child can't learn the way we teach. Maybe we should teach the way they learn." Okay, this is very good quote actually. I like it. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm going to see you For the next session,